Hey guys, this is Andrei, a certified translator here in Minsk, Belarus, and a real estate concierge. Today we are talking about updates for politics and COVID. Traditional weekly update, which has nothing to do with the real picture, of course. All the things I'm gonna say is my personal digest and understanding of the media picture, which by and by is becoming more complicated as the private media are almost non-existent here. I'm just taking the grains of truth, hopefully, and figures and facts from different sources and laying them before you for your consideration and, well, partially recreation. Let's get started. As always, political things are getting a bit tighter here. The local freedoms we will not be discussing, so that my freedoms stay with me and I stay with you. Globally, the fifth package of sanctions is being discussed by the corrupt Western politicians. Corrupt is, of course, the figure of speech, and they may or may not launch something fruitful soon. The previous sanctions will start working, will start having impact around December or January. This is when we expect some slowdown of our economy. I'm not an economist, so I can't tell you really what kind of exchange rate we'll have against ruble, what kind of devaluation we're gonna have and stuff like that. The other day, about 500 migrants from Iraq, Syria and other lovely countries were trying to trespass the border with Poland, which was basically not very successful. The Polish border guards kicked them out, but the thing is still ongoing at the border. Meanwhile, the politicians have agreed to cut the flights from Iraq and other sunny countries, and this may probably make it easy for the border guards, border control. And a lot of people from these countries are hanging about Minsk and the neighborhood in the province, trying to find their way to a better Western life. Tell me what you think about this down below. Tell me if we should have pity about people, for the people sitting on the streets with their children, like 2-, 3-year-olds, toddlers and stuff, or should we not? Are we still with Christian values, guys, or what should we think about them? Tell me about it. I'm especially interested in what the Westerners have to say about it. Economy is cracking on, kind of. It's cracking on cracking, I guess. The state budget deficit this year is 2.2 billion rubles. You'll check that against your currency rate to see how bad is it, and it keeps increasing. Such sectors as hospitality and catering and other similar things are showing some kind of growth, but still they are losing money and they're losing personnel. Seems statistically they're not winning as much as they did last year, and the personnel keeps changing, employers keeps running away. So this may be a problem next year for the guys like my ex-colleagues in tourism, because there is no tourism essentially. Average salary seems to have dropped to 2013 levels. The average salary here normally is counted including income tax and including social security tax, which from a person, from an employee, is 1%. The employer pays 33% on top of that. Well, basically it's also from the employee's salary, so our taxes aren't as low as people are led to believe. So the average salaries in Brest region and in Vitebsk region are the smallest in the country, the lowest. They happen to be around 1,200 rubles per month. At this point, I can almost hear an outcry from somewhere in Vitebsk, like, what the hell, man, where did you get these salaries in Vitebsk? 1,200 rubles, it's impossible. That's true, again, it includes 13% income tax and 1% social security fund tax that the employees have to pay from their part of the salary. It seems like, according to international labor organization standards, we seem to have 200,000 unemployed people here in Belarus. And women make about 38% out of those. Generally, unemployed people are in the age group around 40, and the unemployment in Belarus is officially counted by the number of people who enrolled on social security allowance, which is about $20 a month. In return for this allowance, you have to take odd jobs for the government, but I can't really tell you if that's daily or weekly, and of course they're not paid. So there are, in the better years before elections, we had something like 0.4 unemployment rate in Belarus, according to the official statistics, which is not, as you see, as accurate as the ILO statistics. Can't say how crooked the ILO guys are. I guess they all fairly are crooked. Tell me what you think about the transparency and corruption in the international organizations of whatever kind. In the comments, I'll be happy to hear your feedback, guys. And of course, a few things about our favorite thing, COVID-19. Pandemic is cracking on through the country. Medics are screaming about the wards filled with people who are not vaccinated, by the way. Fewer vaccinated people seem to be going through the emergency treatment ward. And daily statistics is 2,000 cases in Belarus. The rumor is only in Minsk alone we have 4,000 cases, and then it's again about how accurate this official statistics is. Used to have 10 dead daily on all days including weekends, and that's very good discipline from the dead. And now we'll have about 15, 16, 17 dead a day. Well, compared to neighbors who seem to have the death rate surge, it's hard to tell how accurate these figures are. It's up to you to decide whether or not to. And according to our beloved leader, it's up to you whether or not you want to have a jab. Lately, they introduced this mandatory mask mode on the 9th of October, but it only lasted until the 22nd, when he criticized the masks, he criticized the enforcement of them onto people, and also the jabs, highlighting the fact that a person must be motivated, enlightened, blah blah blah, but it's up to a person whether or not he or she must have a jab. Of course, the government executed, I didn't believe, but they executed the order and removed all the mask requirements from public spaces. But now more and more reasonable people seem to be wanting to have a mask when indoors, when they're queuing up somewhere, because this seems to be a sensible measure and the simplest one, without interfering with your, blood system, whatever, to protect yourself and to protect the others. So needless to say, all public places are open and working, catering, recreation spots, bars and everything. The expats get together is on Sunday at 7 o'clock. The location is under the video. We'll be happy to see you there. Of course, wearing a mask. And the country is kind of open for whatever travelers we may get now. Of course, it's kind of open because the only flights are via Moscow, which is partially on shutdown and partially on a visa barrier for you guys, for most of you. You can also fly via Istanbul, via Georgia, Tbilisi or Batumi, but that makes the logistics more complicated. Coming through the land border will require you to fit several conditions, including including an invitation from your business partners, which can be arranged if you check with your business partners. If you have any questions about this, contact me directly. And you have to observe 7-day self-isolation unless you come from a green country, which now is impossible, or you have vaccination, never mind which vaccine. 30 days from the second shot gets you off self-isolation and off PCR test. For leaving the country, you have to have a PCR test. I'll put a service for that thing underneath the video. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you for taking in this lovely Saturday digest of our weekly goings on. Thank you for staying with the Belarusian events and with my channel. I thank you all for the donations. People who support the channel regularly help me upgrade the metal. You may have noticed that sound and picture have improved. I hope so. And hopefully I'll see you in Minsk someday. Travel reasonably, shop for real estate responsibly. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Cheers from Minsk. Stay safe.